keep you on your toes. 2:30.04, tantalisingly close to 2:30. I thought you're not getting the nod for Rio was a bit of a travesty, but I'm sure you'll nail it this year. Charlotte Purdue. And last but not least, I think she was a teammate of mine, she's that old. She won the English School's 1500 metres gold in 1988. 43 years now, and still going strong. European champion in 2014 at 10,000, Jo Pavey. Jo. Right, ladies. Everything good, Susan? What was the last advice Steve gave you?
I don't know. You know what he's like, he doesn't give a lot of advice. It's more, we're going to speak tomorrow on the phone, and I think with me and Steve now it's just a kind of...
Coming in now a few days ago.
I don't know. I've trained pretty hard for this. I kind of feel like I don't know how many more marathons I'm going to be running. It was a disappointing last year. I dropped out last year with injury. So I'm starting to see the end of my career, and I think as I get older, the more marathons I do find I'm sort of adapting what I do in training. But I also feel like I'm training differently as well. Every kind of run, it feels like this could be the last marathon, so maybe that means I get that little bit more out of each training run. So I'm a little bit like this, I never know exactly how fit I am, but I've been out in Boulder for a month, I was out with Steve, things always come together out there, so that's kind of when I get the confidence for the race, is when I've been out there and just turning out the miles, and although things have changed a little bit, I feel okay, I think.
You're only personal best at 2:30.
Yeah, I mean that's like I say, it's a big thing, the sub 2:30. I guess as the years go, with each turning year it gets less and less likely, but I'm not there yet. I'm still training to the same level. I still want that elusive sub 2:30, and a lot of it's about, a lot of the races I've done have been championship races, so the actual opportunities to just run a fast race haven't been as much. If I'd chosen to run an autumn marathon instead of championship races, I've run places, and they're always sweltering. It's Barcelona, Moscow, Korea was quite warm as well, so they don't lend themselves to fast times. But London is a different story, and it's about getting the right race, sort of good conditions, with the right field around you, so some good British girls that are going to make me feel like I've got a race, and maybe Sunday could be the right conditions where everything just comes together for that time.
And obviously.
Yeah, that would be I guess it's the sort of, if I could do World Championships, I think that would give me my reason to just sort of taper off and sort of go into, I don't think I'll stop running, but just kind of step back from this level of competition.
Even if you run 2:30 here on Sunday, I don't want to tempt fate, but if you run 2:30 here and make World Championships team, you wouldn't have a rethink?
Yeah, I would have a rethink, of course, because no one ever. I think it's just, when you're coming towards retirement, it's about finding the right time to do it, and now is not the right time for me because of the disappointment of last year. I feel like I'm still strong enough and able to be fit enough to run fast times. I still want a sub 2:30. But I think every athlete would like to say that they step back at the right time, and what I don't want is to keep chasing keep going marathon after marathon, dropping out, running badly, and so it's just to sort of say, with each marathon I say, have I got another good one in me? And at the moment, yeah, maybe another year, another couple of years, but it's just waiting for that right, knowing when that right time is, and stepping back at the right time. And it's so easy to say, oh, what if? I might, and it's a difficult thing to do, and every athlete goes through that. When's the right time?
Ali?
Going forward with it, so yeah, kind of World Championships this summer is the big aim for Sunday, and then even looking forward to Commonwealth Games next year. So I think Tokyo probably is a little bit too far away just now to think about, but apart from that, yeah, just keep on going, and still got a few big aims to reach for.
How tough was that? Did you feel like you could have done with another couple of months to be properly recovered and properly prepared?
When I was looking at it at the time, I did think that, but then as it came round, kind of, because you're already going into your kind of second marathon phase with the work in the bank from kind of January, February all the way through, it means that you don't have to do as big a workload when you're going in for your summer marathon. So I think in the end it did turn out where it was doable, and the fact that I knew I wasn't going chasing PBs, I really knew I just needed to get there strong and kind of mentally strong to be able to have the confidence to run my own race, pace it correctly in the heat. So it was in the end very doable, and yeah, I think we got everything pretty spot on.
Good memories.
Very good memories.
Now, nearly all athletes.
Some good kind of advisors and mentors, helping us, you know, people who are back of their heads with questions and loads of probably what are silly concerns and worries, but yeah, I've got a really good support network around us to help us through kind of not just the hard parts but the good parts as well, kind of holding us back when I'm feeling good so that I don't push on too much and do myself damage, which I have had a tendency to push that little bit too much, so yeah.
Tell us about your blog. You've got an award-winning blog.
I haven't updated it for quite a while actually. Yeah, I started writing that, I can't remember when, I think it was lead up to Glasgow Commonwealth Games, and I ended up getting an award for North East Sports Blog of the Year, which, you know, I didn't set out to win any awards or anything.
Is there much competition for that?
There's loads. There's literally millions of them. But yeah, it was just kind of, you know, letting people into the life of an athlete really, just showing them the ups and downs, because you get so many people, you know, all the guys that are winning in the mass races on Sunday think that us guys find it easy because we're professionals, but we don't. If anything, we find it harder because we've got more on the line for it. So yeah, it's just a bit of an insight into my life.
In those young legs of yours that actually there's a bigger performance come out now?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident ahead of Sunday. Training's gone really well, so.
Where have you been doing that training?
So actually everywhere. I started the year in South Africa at altitude, and then I went straight to Melbourne to train where my coach could watch me. He's from Australia, so I spent February and half of March in Melbourne. And then the last part back in Teddington, just Bushy Park, Richmond Park.
So no altitude of late? You didn't want to go?
No altitude. I don't really respond that well to altitude straight away. So the few times I have been there, I think I've been there about 4 times, I've come back down and just not felt great. So I tend to use altitude now just to get a good base, and then come back and I can do the mileage and everything quality back at sea level. I prefer to do it that way now.
And have you done or made some fairly direct comparisons with training this time last year and this year? Is it all raised up?
I've pretty much done exactly the same training as last year and before Frankfurt, but all the sessions have been faster. I mean, I did one which was 2 minutes and 37 seconds faster than when I did it in October. So that's a
Over
big...
what distance?
So I actually did 5 times 5k session, and my overall time was like 2.5 minutes faster. That was just one session, but all of them have been better than in October, and all of them have been like, about 5 minutes faster than March last year. So based on the training, I think I'm in pretty good shape.
Did you watch Rio?
Yeah, I remember sitting there watching it, went for a run in the morning, then came back and watched it.
Where were you watching it?
Just at home, yeah.
So does that mean that the World Championships in a few months' time loom even larger in your mind?
Yeah, obviously last year was a pretty big ask because it was my first marathon. I didn't know, 1, how I was going to feel at 22 miles. 2, I didn't actually know if I could run 26.2 because I never did it in training. I only ran 23 in one go. So in the back of your mind, that's still there, like, this is my first marathon, I don't know what's going to happen. So I think I kind of held back a bit mentally and physically last year, where I probably, well, I didn't do that at Frankfurt, I pushed it a bit more and obviously got 2 minutes faster. So yeah, I don't think, I won't be holding back on Sunday.
Have Have you got any mentors? I mean, have you got any with Paula or Joe or Mara?
Yeah, Mara actually lives in Teddington, so I see her out running all the time in Bushy, but obviously Nick Bedeau is my coach, but his wife Sonia O'Sullivan, she's like a great mentor for me. She's given me a few pieces of advice when I've been in Australia. She took me last year away to their beach house, and we had like a weekend away training, so that was good. Yeah, she's a great mentor as well.
Good, okay. What about you? Are you going to go for it Sunday, or
Yeah,
you're going to run a smart, well-judged, intelligent race?
Well, I think we're all going to go for it. You know, obviously the main aim is to attempt to qualify for the World Championships, but I know that's a tough thing to do. You know, the calibre of the girls here, it is really tough, and it's just going to be something that I'm going to try and do. But I know it's going to be a tough task, but just try my best, basically.
Training, do you feel that a personal best is possible, for example, 2:28 from, 2011?
Yeah, I mean, it's a possibility. I've trained hard, I've trained consistently hard. One thing I'd say, I've had more illness than I would have liked, but I think any busy parent can relate to that, you know, having 2 young kids, bringing illnesses home all the time, you know, and I've stayed in the UK and just kept training, but I've just had sort of a lot of illness, but it hasn't really stopped me training. I've just sort of kept going, you know what I mean. I've done all the long runs I wanted to do. I think for me, being a track runner, I was worried about making sure I got the time on the legs, because otherwise it's a long way when you're used to 5k, 10k. So I've done all the sort of long runs, the quality long runs and everything like that. I mean, one thing I didn't get to do was the preparation race. I'd planned to do a half marathon. That was something that I really wanted to do, but I just wasn't really healthy at that time to put myself on a start line. But having said that, I was training. I think you can get through keeping the training going. So yeah, I mean, I've trained really, really hard. I haven't not been training hard, and I've really put in the work. So I'll just give it best I can on the day and go for it, really.
That English schools win was in motivation to get up and train hard. This many years later, you know, you put in a really good shift in British colours again and again, and yet you're still enjoying your running enough to get out twice a day.
Yeah, I just love running. I love having something to aim for. I love setting a goal and then just working towards it. And last year was all about trying to make a 5th Olympics, and I only just managed it in the end. Had a lot of ups and downs on the way, and only qualified at the last minute. But I was pleased to achieve that goal. And then I kept training into the autumn. I had no thoughts of retirement, and then I thought I just want a different goal, a different emphasis, and entering the London Marathon was definitely the way forward for me, because it's like almost like, even though I've done 2 marathons, it felt like a new challenge, something that really excited me, like that change in emphasis in the training. I was really relishing getting out there doing the long runs and ticking the time off and going to the track, but not worrying so much about hitting the fast targets, because my legs were so exhausted from the other stuff I'd done, and just that different emphasis. I really enjoyed that, and it gave me that new focus. And marathon is an event where I think there's still a possibility of a PB at some stage, just because I've done years of track running and I've only done a couple of marathons, and still feel like I've got a lot to learn and still enjoying it, really.
I mean, your track time suggests you should be, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes quicker at the marathon, frankly. You should be a 2:22, 2:23 runner at least.
Well, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, the marathon is an event that's really tough. You know, a lot of girls are really good at it. I think when I did my first London Marathon, I learned a lot from that, because I just went for it. You know, it was the biggest depth I've ever had in a women's marathon. I can't remember the actual stats of it, but it was crazy, and I was aware of that, but I just thought...
You were 16th in 2:28.
Yeah,
that
it was more
deep.
the real top end was really good. You know, like people that could run. It wasn't like it was obviously a world record, but the quantity of people that were able to run a really quick time, like the first, you know, top 12 or whatever. And when the race went off, I just went for it, you know, which was really stupid, because I got loads of advice and people had said, you mustn't do that, and I was like, yeah, but I just did it anyway. And so the last 40 minutes I felt delirious, you know, I was just sort of keeping going, because I was 7 or 8 minutes slower in the second half than I was in the first half of the race, which was obviously, I know some people could do that, but I obviously wasn't ready for that at all, and I really realised that I had a lot to learn, and I enjoyed learning that, because then when I talked about it to people afterwards, I could talk from experience, but I still enjoyed the whole atmosphere, and I found it like really surreal running down the Mall. You know, you've seen it so many times on television, and even though I wasn't pacing it right, I still really enjoyed the experience and wanted to come back. And I did another marathon in New York, which I really enjoyed, the New York Marathon later in the year, and I still ran 2:28, but equivalently it was an improvement because it's a tougher course. So I was quite pleased that I'd learned a lot, and that was an experience where I felt like I judged my pace better, and because it was a tougher course, I still think of it as equivalently an improvement in what I'd done. But yeah, you know, marathon's a tough event, and I'd love to try and get a PB one day. I still feel like I'd like to do a few more. I never thought I'd leave it 6 years between doing a marathon and then doing another one, but so many different things have happened in the meantime, so it's took this long for me to get around to doing one again.
A lot of things have happened in the meantime. I mean, you know, you've been running, getting... Abela Gessi has been busted. You're due a bronze medal, which is going to get awarded, I think, this summer, isn't it? In London.
Yeah.
That's kind of neat, but you must have great regrets over the stuff that's going on at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for me, getting awarded the bronze medal, I'm thrilled to get a medal that, you know, is rightfully mine, and it's a real honour, and, you know, to receive it on home soil, that's really special. And obviously it's bittersweet to get a medal 10 years late, because you've missed that moment. I got memories of that day just lying exhausted on the track. I think the conditions were like 36, 37 degrees Celsius, and the humidity, it was the most adverse conditions I'd ever competed in on a track, and I was lying there, and the thing is, if I'd been trailing in fourth, I'd be thinking, oh, I'm fourth, but I nearly got a medal on the day. I just couldn't do enough, you know. I just, right up until the finish line, I was in the bronze medal position, and so lying on the track in the end, you feel like you've let people down, your friends and family are willing you to that line, and feeling like you couldn't do enough on the day, doing all the media saying, oh, sorry, I just couldn't quite do enough, and it was so disappointing because it seemed like an opportunity missed, and it should have been a day where I was thrilled to be proud to get a medal for the country, you know, and stand on that podium. You never get that moment back, but yeah, I mean, obviously we're pleased that athletes are starting to get caught. There's still a lot of work to do, but you know, I'm passionate about the sport getting cleaned up for the youngsters coming through. You know, got young athletes, you know, here today, and we want the future to be bright for them so they can enjoy the sport, and better for the spectators. They want to believe a performance when they see it. You know, there's still a lot of work to be done, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Joe. Okay, any questions for our ladies?
In Frankfurt, and you had gotten sick at Berlin, and then you kind of rallied, came back, and did very well at Frankfurt. Tell us about what's your level of training for London, compare it with what you did for Frankfurt.
So it's been pretty much the same. I think where I've benefited this time around is obviously this time last year was my first marathon, so all the training was new to me. I hadn't run longer than 2 hours before, well, I hadn't even run longer than an hour 45 before. And then obviously doing it again for Frankfurt was a bit easier than doing it before London because I was used to doing 2.5 hours. And then this time around, just going out for a 2.5 hour run kind of feels like a breeze. So I was able to do the training but also push it a bit more and not worry about that I couldn't do it. So mentally it's been a lot easier, and yeah, physically I've taken the training in a lot easier as well.
I really haven't got any definite plans beyond Sunday. You know, people talk about when will you retire, what will be your retirement race, but I'm too indecisive to actually have a retirement race, so I haven't ruled out doing more track racing. But I would like to see if I can, you know, do some marathons, but I haven't really ruled out doing tracks. I love track running, and I'm obviously more experienced at it, and I know in training what times I've got to hit, and at least I am getting very old, but I can use my experience what targets I need to hit on the track and things like that. But I just love setting new challenges, and you know, maybe the next challenge could be a track one, it could be a road one, but I just really enjoy keeping going, really.
Yes, Duncan.
You know, London Marathon results have been changed. The Olympic marathon champions tested positive. I mean, at what point are the public going to become totally disillusioned with it, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that is a problem that you see a performance, and unfortunately, even if the athlete's clean, if it is an amazing performance, people are starting to question it. I mean, as an athlete, I'm glad we're going through this phase, because I felt like the main part of my career we were seeing these phenomenal performances, and as an athlete you kind of know what's going on behind the scenes, but it's not being talked about in the media, and you're just having to put up with it and face the media year after year, having finished 4th and 5th and saying, oh, I couldn't quite do enough, I'm really sorry I didn't get it right on the day. You go back to the drawing board and then the same thing happens the next year, and when you look back at those years you realise that you were getting a lot of things right, and it was the athletes that were suffering because it wasn't really being talked about. And we're in this sort of phase now where fortunately it seems as though things are being done. It's brilliant that reanalysis of samples is happening. I hope that can be carried on with samples, like even more so, more funding, more samples reanalysed, and to go back further as well. Some of the frustrations I have is to do with the fact that because I'm so old, some of my better races were maybe before the time, you know, before 2007 as well, and some of that won't be reanalysed. And even when athletes have been caught in some of the races I've done, they were caught after those races. So in theory you can't legally say they were cheating in that race, even though you probably think they were, you know, and so that's kind of frustrating. But, you know, and also just thinking of we need an independent anti-doping situation, an organisation which is independent, so you don't get sports trying to protect themselves and protect their image, and the interest of clean athletes is the most important thing. And, you know, it was obviously very dismaying to see Jemima Summerville getting caught, but at least pleasing that she was caught out of competition. You know, we've heard of certain nations, I'm not tarring all athletes with the same brush from a certain nation, but you're seeing athletes in some nations not having out of competition testing, and you know that once they're in a competition they can be obviously clear of the substances because they're not going to take them when they're at the competition. So it's pleasing to know that there's more out of competition testing happening, and really we just, you know, I'm passionate about the sport, and, you know, I'm passionate about big events in sport, and we want it to be cleaned up, and I think, you know, the public have got to look at it on a positive way, that things are being done, and hopefully we will believe in a lot of the performances of the future.
Mark, yeah.
Frustrating. What were your feelings watching that race? Did you thought was she there, or had you sort of resigned? Could you enjoy it at all? What were your feelings?
Yeah, so I obviously knew going into London last year what the qualifying standard was. Had to run 2:31, finish in the top 2, essentially top 3 basically. So when I crossed the line and I turned around, I saw the time. I did initially know, and I was actually like crying my eyes out in the tent after the race because I knew that I hadn't run the time. So I mean, the qualifying standard was there before, so it's not like I didn't know what I had to do. It was just a bit disappointing to be in the 3rd spot and to be so close and not to be there. But after, my boyfriend came over to me after the end of London last year, and I was crying and I was like, oh, looks like I'm going to Berlin then. And then literally the next day I just put all my focus on the fact I was running Berlin Marathon. I just kind of forgot about the Olympics. I went on a holding camp with the Australians to Mount Laguna, and they were obviously all going on to Rio, and I was going on and coming back and doing Berlin. So I kind of used Berlin as like my Olympics. Obviously, I'm not an Olympian, and that's like a massive goal of mine, but I just had to kind of refocus and choose a different goal. So it wasn't like a disappointing year, really.
So by the time the games came round, you actually enjoyed watching it, I guess.
Yeah, because by the time the games came around, I was fully into marathon training. I was like watching it as if it was like another race and that I was never involved at all. So yeah, I enjoyed watching it. Didn't have any hard feelings about anyone running, or like, I didn't even think where would I have finished, because obviously the conditions were so tough. I had people texting me like, oh, your time would have put you here, and I was like, yeah, but my time in those conditions, like, you can't say where you would finish. So I think that, yeah, I just went to Berlin, and, well, obviously I didn't end up running Berlin, but then I went to Frankfurt and ended up running a PB. So yeah, I was happy with the way the year went last year.
Hi, the Kenyan and Ethiopian women talked a little bit yesterday about the distances they're doing every week in training. I was wondering if everyone could give us a little insight into them.
Your biggest weeks?
This time around only 90. I've had a bit of an inflamed heel throughout the whole build-up. It's just there. So I dropped my mileage a little bit, only like maybe 10 miles a week, but I changed how I was doing it. So instead of doing 2 shorter runs, I was doing sort of 1 longer run in the mornings. And in some ways I actually think that maybe isn't a bad idea at all, because I was doing 10 miles, only run of the day, and I was putting everything into it. So I'd go out and run a lot harder, and then I had the 24 hours for things to sort of settle down, and then I could go out and do the same again the next day. And maybe in the past I would have done, say, 2 6s, 2 7s, or an 8 and something, I don't know. So in some ways that unsettled me a little bit, but I guess that's kind of what I was talking about. As you become an older athlete, you have things like that, so you can't just charge at everything like a 25-year-old and you're unbreakable, and you have to maybe be a little bit smarter. So the top mileage that I was doing changed a little bit, but I think some of the miles that I was doing were better, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of effect that has.
Ali?
I don't work on a 7-day kind of weekly cycle. I work on a 9-10-day cycle, so some weeks it'll be more, others slightly less. But I worked out the other day, from beginning of the year to kind of start a taper last week, I'd averaged out 114 a week, and the last 4 weeks have been at about 120, 125, and that was done up in front. So you've got that attitude adjustment on there as well, but yeah, putting some big miles this time. And similar to Susan, kind of, as you're getting older, I've changed over to that 10-day cycle so that I'm getting kind of more rest and recovery. I do a hard day, 2 easy days, a hard day. And it just allows you to get the volume in, but also get the quality work on the hard days. So kind of my long runs, I'll go right up to 25, 26 miles, and they're done at a decent pace. It's not just slow long running.
Is that more than you've done before, 120 a week?
Yeah, probably. I think going into Berlin, I peaked at about 120, whereas, like I said, these last 4 weeks up in front, I've hit between 120 and 125, which, again, it's kind of not something I don't aim for a target mileage. I do what I can do on the week. You know, if I feel good, I'll do a few more miles. If I don't, I'll take a rest day or kind of rest afternoon or whatever. So it's just a case of listening to your body and being sensible. And like I said before, I do sometimes get a bit carried away. I could just quite happily, especially when I'm over there, just go and run all day. So yeah, but sometimes take a step back and say, do I really need this extra 5 mile run?
That was just 1 week. So consistently, I'd say about 110. Yeah, for the last 10 weeks probably. So pretty big. But before then, I was probably about 95 in January, December. So had a good block now.
Joe, you easing back a bit?
I think it's funny really, I've never really counted the miles. I mean, I'm probably doing about 100 miles a week, but I've always, for me, thought about the emphasis of the training, if you know what I mean, because when I'm track training, and I learned this a long time ago, that particularly for track, I'll just work with track for a minute, that I know what rep times I've got to hit on the track for certain sessions, and anything else is irrelevant. If I can't do that, I'm not ready to race. It's like when I came back home with Pavey, I just kept going down the track, just trying to hit what is rep times that you need to be able to run a decent 5k or 10k, and anything else is pointless, you know. And so with the marathon, you know, I try and take the fact where it's the emphasis that matters. Like, it matters that I do a 2.5 hour run, regardless of anything else. I've made sure I've done that, and it matters that I do a hard, long tempo effort of, say, you know, 10 miles in a week, and I need to do some long reps. I need to do something to keep my leg speed going, like some 400s off a short recovery, and it's more about making sure the components are there, and all the volume feeds in around that. I've always worked like that, so I've never really totaled the miles, because I think that's why I talk about needing marathon experience, because I've done track for so many years that if I'm down the track and I'm not doing this, that and the other, everything else is a waste of time. And so I feel like I don't know that so much for the marathon. I don't know what I need to be able to do, say 10 miles in training, or I'm sort of, do you know what I mean? And I know the components have to be in there, and so I am doing probably about 100 miles a week, but it's more important to me that, right, in this sort of 8-9 days, have I done a long run, have I done a tempo effort, have I done some leg speed work, do you know what I mean? So,
That's what Mary Kaitani said, she doesn't really keep a total,
yeah,
she just
so
does the
I don't
training.
really- yeah, and I'm more familiar with how that works in the track than how it works in the marathon. I've still got a hell of a lot to learn in the marathon, but that's what's enjoyable about revisiting it, is that it's like a new challenge, and how am I going to work it all out, you know. So yeah, you know, it's a tough event, and I really respect that, and I respect how experienced, you know, obviously Charlotte's run some great times and everything, and she's young, but also, you know, Ali, to see how experienced they are and how they, you know, the knowledge they've gained. I really respect that, definitely.
Okay, a couple more questions if there's any out there. Otherwise